Hello, and welcome to the 2018 Marblehead Fantasy Football League Draft Show Special. I'm your host, Matt Perlow, aka Mr. Consistent, aka the perennial playoff participant, aka the third place menace, aka always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Anyway, it is my esteemed pleasure to be hosting the show from my super awesome place here in San Francisco. I call it my bachelor pad. I mean, it is so great being here.
Matt, what are you doing?
Grace, can I just have the kitchen for a minute?
No, I need to clean up in here.
Why do you need to clean right now? It's fine.
I need to do it right now. It's a mess that you made. I just need to.
Fine. It's just annoying.
What'd you say?
Nothing. You're just kind of annoying.
Are you kidding me? Ugh!
Hello, and welcome to the 2018 Marblehead Fantasy Football League Draft Order Selection Show. This category will determine the order by which I will pull numbers out of a hat to determine the actual draft order. Is it an extra step? Maybe. But is it worth it to find an opportunity to make fun of our friends? Definitely. Now, all offseason, we have been fielding entries from our fans as to what category will determine the draft order selection. Most of the entries we found were submitted by Temmie and revolved around Disney princesses, and a lot of them were also submitted by someone named Amanoob, all one word. They were just terrible, really, really shocking. So eventually we had to ban him from the system, and we tallied the remaining 3 entries and were able to come up with the category that will determine the draft order selection. And I will reveal that category to you after a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Oh no. I don't get it. What is the big deal with the end of August? Why is everyone acting so crazy? You don't understand. He's coming. What are you talking about? Who is coming? There was this kid. He was a normal kid, just like you and me. But the legend has it that one day he just disappeared. Disappeared? What are you talking about? And what difference does it make? He's gone, right? He's not gone! Every year, there's one day in late August where he returns to feast on the souls who oppose him. And each year he comes back, he's stronger and more prepared. Oh my God. What can we do? There's only one thing you can do. You have to defeat him at his own game. Will that end? Pray. To Matt. Hope this helps. You're going to need it. See you soon. understand. What is chaos? Not what? Who? Not chaos. Chaos. Welcome back. Pretty scary, huh? They say it's a true story, but I really hope not. Anyway, now it's time for the big reveal. The draft order will be determined by who gets the most rattled. Now to clarify, we are going to start with number 10, which is the person that gets the least rattled, and work our way up to number 1, which is the person that gets the most rattled. And one more point that I want to make is that I'm going to run through the whole ranking system, determine 10 through 1, and then at the end I am going to draw the names, the numbers from the hat all in a row to determine the actual draft order. That way I figure there won't be any accusations of tampering or anything, given that I'm alone on the West Coast. We're just going to do it all in one fell swoop. So hopefully that will work for you guys. All right, now let's begin. Okay, starting with the least rattled here, number 10 on our list. Taking the coveted first reveal on our list, and with it the title of least rattled, is a kid who seemingly has no emotion. Well, he has emotions, but sometimes he hides them so well that you can never quite tell what he's thinking. Now, does it help that he's essentially unreachable for 80% of the year? Maybe. But even in the heat of fantasy football playoffs, in the midst of group me trash talking, in the weaning hours of crunch time, this guy doesn't often stir the pot, save for a well-timed emoji or a simple LMAO. The ability to exist but not exist at the same time can't be taught, but it can be earned. And that is why Will Riley, the Chouse Man, gets the number 1 least rattled spot on our list, or number 10 most rattled, however you want to look at it. Now, number 2 least rattled may appear to some as an interesting choice, but I need you to hear me out here. He gets picked on a lot. I mean, maybe the most in the group, and he's had to deal with a lot of adversity over the years. But heck, I'll give him credit, because for all the crap he takes, he stays level. He's even keeled. He never shows his hand. He's never too high, never too low. He's always just okay, straight down the fairway. And now I'll be brutally honest, a lot of the crap he takes, he brings on himself unnecessarily. He is a provoker, sure, but pundits aren't sure if he's doing it on purpose or if, like Lady Gaga, he was just born that way. Hell, he drafted half of his team from a car last year because he forgot something at work. 2 years ago, he didn't play a tight end in the semifinals and still won the championship. And through it all, the kids just stayed composed. And for that reason, Johnny V is our number 9 spot on the most rattled list. Now, number 8 on the most rattled list is a personal favorite of mine, and he's had to deal with a lot of adversity too. Just last year in fantasy football alone, he lost the number 1 pick to injury in week 1 and continued to be riddled by some pretty devastating injuries throughout the season, even losing one game by less than 2 points because his wide receiver 1 got hurt on the first drive of a game. That one was tough. Yet, through a positive attitude, a bit of luck, and not to mention just the right amount of charm, number 8 made the playoffs yet again. He could have crumbled early on, but he persisted, and every time he cried, he made sure to do it behind closed doors. For that reason, we are giving Matthew Perlow our number 3 least rattled spot, number 8 most rattled spot. He just does not get rattled. Now, number 7 most rattled, when he was younger, a tadpole, so to speak, there were times when controllers would be thrown and TVs would be broken over a video game dispute, where he would modify the rules of our fantasy league to better serve his team. Could you imagine? But like the process of evolution, this guy has grown and really developed a rock-hard shell. Even after some asshole busted his nose with an errant baseball throw, he exhibited the soft, exposed green underbelly of forgiveness that we have come to know and love. Nowadays, when snowstorms are raging and the rest of us are complaining about the weather, this guy emerges from his pond and embraces it through all hours of the night, cool as a cold-blooded reptile, so to speak. It may have taken him a bit longer to develop his composure, but you know what they say, slow and steady wins the race. And that's why next on our list is Dan Franklin Colbert. Now, in the middle of our most rattled list, we have two guys that really go hand in hand, but ultimately, decisions had to be made, and so with the 6th spot on our most rattled list is a guy who really is all over the rattled spectrum. Now, following an intricate psychoanalysis, it has been determined that the root of all his problems in life derive from Boston sports. And for a guy who bleeds red, white, and Boston, it might surprise you that some of his most common phrases uttered are, "Ainge is a dumbass," "Bruins are trash," and my personal favorite, "Brady sucks." Yet, while he's quick to get himself worked up and jump all over a player or a particular play, he has an innate ability to significantly impact a game from his couch simply by typing out a GroupMe message. So much so that Webster's Dictionary has named a term after him due to the way that he can jinx any team that he speaks about. That said, for a guy that consistently makes the playoffs but can hardly win a playoff game, he does a pretty solid job keeping his composure, especially when the next guy on our list tries to get under his skin. But we'll get to that in a minute. And so for now, with the 6th spot on our most rattled list is Nate Cullen. So, we arrive at number 5 on our list. Now, this is a guy who lights a fire just to watch Nate burn. The GroupMe is his playground, twisting here, pinching there, orchestrating fights like a puppeteer. People still aren't sure if his middle name is Robert or Instigator. But even Geppetto can have his strings pulled, and pulled they have been. When you peel back the surface, you get a guy who has threatened to quit the league time and time again, who has conceded matchups via text message after a poor showing in the 1 p.m. games, tail between legs, only to come back and talk trash in the group later that night. You get a guy who, at the sheer mention of Gio Bernard in the free agency wire, will literally soil himself and pass out. And yet, through it all, the guy is solid under pressure. He's as consistent as they come. Hell, he won the league last year. And at the end of the day, he knows as well as anyone that pain heals, chicks dig scars, and glory lasts forever. And so with number 5 on our list, the title goes to Jake Coolidge. Now, if you would have told me that number 4 on our most rattled list was the best salesman at one of the top 37 SMB software security companies in downtown Boston, I would have said, you, sir, are a liar. How could someone who handles pressure in the workplace so well get so rattled in all other areas of his life? Was it because he was voted biggest gossip in high school? Is it the constant fear of there not being enough cookie pie at Thanksgiving? Or was it the pressure of making sure the boat was ready for the 4th of July and that the harbor master didn't scold him for having too much fun? Whatever the reason, when it came to receiving the last place punishment last year, this man was very rattled.
Okay, who's kicking it off? Start us off, Jake.
Yeah, open the file. Open that cornhole.
No! No way!
I think that's all we need to see for now. Our number 4 spot goes to Benny the Jet Koopman. Okay, here we are, down to the top 3 most rattled. There was certainly an argument to be made here that the number 3 most rattled on our list could have actually been number 1, but the statisticians behind the creation of this list have determined that when you average out his rattled, unrattled moments, the 3 spot suits him best. So where to begin here? I mean, I have seen with my own eyes this guy scream the F-bomb in a crowded high school gym full of parents, women, and children after an early exit from the state tournament. And I've also seen this guy scream the F-bomb in an empty high school gym full of absolutely no one following an early exit from the rec league basketball playoffs. In fact, his mentality in rec league, pickup sports in general really just screams rattled. Ejections from softball games are almost expected at this point, and Thanksgiving Turkey Day football, this guy turns into a head case. Surprisingly, when he's losing money on the roulette table, he generally keeps his cool. I think it's because Seabrook is practically a charitable organization and he feels good about his donations. I'm not really sure. Whatever the case may be, number 3 on our most rattled list goes to Matthew Temme. And Temme, if you don't like it, play me one-on-one. The 2 spot, here we are. Now, don't let his Snapchat filter game fool you. Number 2 on our list is not all adorable smiles. In fact, he suffers from a severe disorder in which he perpetually lives in the year 2008. It's actually really sad, and sometimes, for his sake, I wish it was 2008, because as the years have come and gone, fantasy has not been kind to this little guy. It seems as if each season he is flopping around at the bottom of the league looking for ways to make the consolation bracket more exciting. Every week is an emotional roller coaster, starting the day with optimism only to be crushed and tormented over and over until by the end of the day, he admits that he doesn't even care about fantasy football. And yes, I have the text messages to prove it. But come the next week, he's back at the top of the mountain, albeit not quite as high as the week before, inevitably waiting for the late season miracle to fail and his heart to be torn to shreds yet again. But to his credit, each year he continues to show up with the same old stories of Michael Turner, AP, Chris Johnson that we all know and love, and he tries his damnedest to repeat history. Maybe this year will be the year. Who knows? But we're pulling for you, buddy. The number 2 spot on our list goes to Josh Friedland. And finally, we've arrived at the number 1 spot on our list. Now this guy was an early favorite from the get-go. Don't be deceived by his tough guy, I'll fight you, but in reality I'll just yell louder than you demeanor. This guy is way more bark than bite, and he knows quite a few things about both barking and biting, because puppies. On any given day, you can scroll through a GroupMe argument, and at the center of it all, you know who you'll find. He tries to be ice cold, but those who have followed him throughout his career know that he does not fare well in colder weather. Seriously, if you're thinking about playing touch football in late fall, make sure there is a hot running sink nearby or the tears will be coming non-stop. And when it comes to fantasy, he's certainly not afraid to speak his mind. One day he'll publicly bash your team and the next he'll beg for a trade in private. While experts still aren't sure if he knows the difference between opinion and fact, at the end of the day, he's a competitor and that's all we can ask for. With the number 1 most rattled spot on our list, we have the one and only Jared Miller. And there we have it, the order with which we will determine the draft order. So let's get to it after one more commercial break. Stay tuned. Well, hello there, folks. It's your old friend Matt here, and I'd like to welcome you to my new home here in beautiful San Francisco. No, bring it back. Well, when I moved here a few months ago, I was nervous. Heck, moving across the country is a big change for anybody. And let me tell you, it hasn't been easy making friends. But with that, I've had a lot of time to myself. And with that time, well, I wrote an album. It is my pleasure to introduce to you my first album, Bedroom Sessions. Bedroom Sessions is the product of one afternoon full of hard work, and I couldn't be more excited to invite you in for a listen. But don't come into my bedroom session with high expectations, because it'll be over pretty quick and you'll likely leave disappointed. Now, when I wrote Bedroom Sessions, I wanted to write about something that was important to me. And what's more important than my friends back home? Bedroom Sessions includes such classics as says it's cold outside, he's not gonna do it. He's always complaining about things like that. He threatens to quit and says it's gonna be our fault. But even though the big man is crying, we have rules, and what's fair is fair. And we said, Bennett, you lost the league, you're getting hit. Yeah, we said, Bennett, we can't help it that you suck at this. Now shut the heck up and stand over there. John took his glove and he threw it down. Scootered up that hill and through the town. Yeah, he left the diamond in his full uniform, 'cause he really Game's just begun, and we're doing okay. Brady takes the ball and he throws it away. It was the right move, but here comes Nate. He picks up his phone and he's irate. He says, Brady sucks, put the backup in the game. Dude, it's literally the first quarter, what is wrong with your brain? Can't let one play go by. Nate's up, pessimist. Yeah, Nate's up, pessimist. When I was 12 years old, I broke my pelvis. I was running from a puppy at my friend's. Screamed so loud I nearly pissed my pants. I was younger then, but now I'm still soft. I've been staring at the screen of my computer, hoping that these analysts will tell me who I should draft. I wish I could draft the perfect team, but I come back to one player, no matter how hard I try. Everywhere I look, every report I track, is it because his hair that I always come back to the man I know that I'm going to pick? What is wrong with me? See highlights on my big screen TV, they call me, and then I know which way I'll go. I have first pick and I'm scared Dennis there just behind me, but now I know that I'll pick Odell because I am so dumb.
And if you order right now, you'll get a second copy of the same album for the same price with the same amount of songs. So if you order right now, you'll get, what is to clarify, the same exact album, which includes such songs as
Josh is crying, it's almost midnight and he is praying for 3 more tackles, please. He says it's all he really needs. He's complaining, his guys aren't playing, and this is bullcrap, it's really so unfair. Now he doesn't even care. But this happens every year because of his draft, and now he won't make the playoffs. Is he going to cry? Is he going to cry? Is he going to cry? Why, Joshy, why? Hey Dan, sometimes when we would eat lunch, you would get food in the craziest places. Did you know about that? Or just not care? He's telling me he's hungry, sandwich out, it's time to get funky. There's a crumb on his forehead already, it's not spaghetti, it's turkey. And on the table now is chips and lurking, the Cape Cod. But he's off and already working on his PB and fluff. We all know what that's the stuff. On the corner of his mouth, the food just won't come off. He's choking how? Oh wait, he's only joking now. Capri Sun's out, he's gotta slam it now. Today is gonna be the day that Jake posts another Instagram. He knows that he should only show pictures of his sisters and his fam. He knows that this will generate the most amount of likes for him now. Snapchatting his backwards hat while he's driving in his car. That night, to keep the feeling right, he snapped himself playing guitar. He only knows some basic chords, but that's all it takes for him now.
So, be a good friend and order your copy of Bedroom Sessions today. I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, gents, the moment we've all been waiting for. I have numbers 1 through 10 in this cup. I have no idea what they are, and I am going to pull them in the order that I determined in the video before this. Okay, let's go. First up, Chousman. We have number 9. Will Riley gets number 9. Next, we've got Johnny V. Number 10, Johnny V with number 10. Next, we have myself. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I swear to you, I got number 1. Oh, that's not gonna look good. All right. Oh, shoot. Next, we have Danny C. Number 8, the 8 spot to Dan. Next, we have Nate. Number 2, Nate spot. Nate with number 2 spot. All right, next we have Jake. Number 4, Jake with number 4. Next we have Ben. Number 3 goes to Coop. Next we have Temmie. Number 7 to Temmie, number 7. Next, we have Josh. Number 6, Josh with the 6th spot. And last but not least, we've got Jared Miller, who, by process of elimination, gets the number 5 spot. All right, there we have it. That is what it is. Good luck, gentlemen. Start your engines.